FX Nation, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And in this video guys, we're going to take a look and we're going to discuss how do we trade the US session. Alright, if you're trading our strategy, if you're trying to figure out how to trade with market makers, what's the best way to trade the US session? Alright, so that's what we're going to talk about today in this video guys. So without further ado, let's get this started. All right, guys, so when we talk about trading, right, when you talk about trading this strategy with trading with market makers, you know that we pretty much trade one of two things. We trade either the London session or the US session, and we really don't care what happens during the Asian session, right? So with those two being our main sessions, and you know, obviously some of us aren't able to trade the London session, so we trade the US session. Some of us are not able to trade the US session, so we trade the London session. So you go back and forth depending on, you know, our lifestyle, our schedule. So with that being said, I get a lot of questions about, you know, how do we trade the US session if we don't trade the London, because, you know, we're working, we have to sleep, and and the only time we have available is basically, you know, to trade the US session. So I think one of the two things that I want to stress the most here about this is when you're trading the US session, you're essentially looking for one of two things. You're looking for a reversal, or you're looking for a continuation. So those are the two main things that you're looking for when you're trading the US session. So those two things should be at the top of your list of what you're looking for. The reversal that we all expect that, you know, comes during the US session, or if we don't get a reversal, we'll get a continuation of the price. So let's take a look at a chart here like EuroCAD. EuroCAD, as you can see, you know, this is all Asian and then the London session here, and then we get into essentially the US session within this area here. Okay, so the US session essentially starts at 8 o'clock and then it goes through until 5. When we're looking at this chart here and we see what happened, essentially one of the advantages to trading the US session is you kind of have an advantage of knowing what you should expect, you know, because you can see what happened during London, whether it created the low or the high, and you can basically see, okay, well, I'm expecting this to happen. So it gives you a little bit of an advantage compared to just trading the London session. So in this case here, for this example, let's say on EuroCAD, we had Asian session here, and then we obviously had followed by the London session, right? And then we come across here, we start to accumulate contracts here. Granted, we've already made the low of the day here during London. So if we come up to the computer and we're looking at this on EuroCAD and we're, you know, 8 o'clock in, and we're like, we've already made the low for the day during the London session, right? So what do we expect? We expect a reversal. So reversal would be off the high of the day. So basically I'm going to be looking for essentially the high of the day, so I can trade off of that. And the best types of highs of the day is ones that we can trade off of a pattern. The majority of the time, if we can find, you know, an M, or let's say, you know, if it was if it created the high of the day and we're looking for the low of the day, if it can create a W to trade that back, then that would be great, because that would give us exactly what we're looking for during that session. Okay, so in this example here of EuroCAD, you can see that we ended up getting an M formation here, and the second leg happened at like 10:15. So we ended up getting an M formation here, and you could have taken this trade down, and this trade would have been maybe about 25 pips depending on when and where you got in and out of. I think one of the disadvantages of trading the US session is that the reversal that you expect to happen is very small. So typically it's about 30 pips, literally 35 pips max most of the time. The only time that is untrue if the movement during the US session is news induced. Okay, so if you have like the 8:30 candle for news that comes out, you have something that like CPI news or FOMC, any of that stuff that would obviously make a huge impact on the market and cause a lot of volatility to happen. In that case, that's when you would have, over the 35, pips, and you'd have more like 50, 70, depends on, on the pair. But the majority of the time, you guys need to understand that the first thing is that you're not looking for these huge movements unless you see that there's news coming. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So you're basically always aiming for literally like 25, 30 pips, 25, 30 pips, 25, 30 pips on the US session unless there's news. On this example here, EuroCAD, pretty simple. Okay, let's not make this very difficult, guys. Literally, very simple. You have your Asian range. What did this pair do during London? It created the low of the day here, moved up higher. Okay, we can expect either a reversal or a continuation. In this case, we actually ended up getting a reversal. A nice M formation here. You take that trade down, and that's it. Let's look at a couple more so you can kind of see the different variations on the same theme here. So Euro USD. So Euro USD had the Asian session here, and what happened during essentially the London session? You can see price moved up, and it basically just moved across, didn't do anything but create essentially the high of the day right here. Right? It's trading off the high of the day. The high of the day is right here. There's your high of the day. So it's been trading basically off the high of the day. So knowing that you're trading off the high of the day, you're basically looking for what? For sell setups, right? You're looking to trade off this high of the day. So what are you looking for? You're looking for sell setups. And there's your setup here that ended up happening. And this happened like at 9:45. So what do we end up getting here? Move up, move down, basically working the contracts here. And there's no coincidence here that it was doing it towards the middle of the range. You see that, right? Working it. This was basically a total of what? 10 pips? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So from 5:30 all the way to 9:45, just moving back and forth 10 pips, up and down, up and down, up and down, right, until it finally broke out. And there's your trade right there for the US session. So let's take a look at a couple more here. All right, let's look at Euro Swiss. So Euro Swiss here, what do we have here? We have the range here, and then we basically have during London session, we create the low of the day right here, and we move up, right? Now, here's the tricky part, is sometimes you won't get a move until way later on, right? So you really gotta have, guys, a timer, all right, in the back of your mind of when you're gonna stop looking for setups. Because look, this may have traded off the low or off the high of the day here, right? And this would have been a great trade, right? Nice little M formation here. The problem with it is that it's happening like at noon. And the majority of the time that we're looking for trade setups during the US session is what? Is basically from like 8 o'clock all the way up until like, 11 o'clock or so. That particular specific range is when the majority of the time we get either the high or the low or the reversal that we're looking for on the New York session. So you have to be very careful. Okay, you got to be very careful with this, because if you think you're at the high of the day already, and you're not, obviously you're going to be taken out. So very important that if you think that you're at the high of the day, you got to have rules. For us, one of the rules that we use is a 5 and 13 crossover. So in this particular case here, even if we go back, let's say to this here, and we replay this, on this next candle there, we have that big drawdown here. You see how this doesn't even flinch at all, right? The EMAs don't flinch, and we still keep moving up. And it's not until we actually get the true movement, right here in this candle, that we can actually take that trade. So always keep that in the back of your mind, guys. So here's pound Swiss. What happens? Asian session, London session creates the low of the day. Nice W pattern here, by the way. And straight up 11:15, 11 o'clock starts to make the first leg of the M. We get a second leg here, and then we drop down. There's your trade right there. And you're trading it off the high of the day. All right, London session, you would have traded off the low of the day. US session, off the high of the day. I mean, you just want to keep it literally this simple. If you look at USD JPY, Asian session, what happened during London? We went down, created the low of the day, came back up, and then what is it that we can possibly trade off of during the US session, right? We can possibly trade off of the high of the day. It's the only thing that we got. High of the day is all the way up here, right? So we see these spikes to the high of the day, right? On a bigger time frame, let's say if we go up to, let's go up to the hour time frame, we can see that these spikes go all the way up, right? So what does this give us essentially? We can even possibly see it maybe on the 30-minute chart a little bit better. So you're trading off the high of the day, guys. High of the day straight down. You're not going to get a lot of pips. Here's 20 pips. Here is what Aussie USD, and what happened during the London session here. Went up, created the low of the day, and then during coming up to the US session, where are we at? We're at, creating the high of the day, obviously. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a trade off the high of the day, which is up here. There's a reason why banks aren't going any higher, guys. All right, look. Go up straight up. Stop, stop, stop. Wake up, stop, 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 stop. Have enough contracts, move down. That's all they're doing. AUD Swiss, same thing. Look. Asian session here. London session, we create the low of the day. Move all the way up. Create the high of the day, make an M, retreat back down. That's it. Notice how late this is happening. This is all happening like 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock. Normally doesn't happen this late, but it does happen this late sometimes. AUD NZD, same thing. Asian session, work its way down, comes to the low of the day, creates the low of the day, comes all the way back up. What are we trading off of? The high of the day. Right here, makes an M. We can work that down. You see that the trades, essentially the setups are there though, But you see, you have the M, and then it just consolidates. Here's another one. Asian range right here. Here's the setup for the London session. Boom, goes all the way up. What happens? Reversal, comes back down, and now it consolidates. NZD Swiss, same thing. Asian session, moves down, creates a W, goes up. What are we looking for? Obviously a reversal off the high of the day. Right here, here's your M, work its way down. Okay. Take a look at CAD, CHF. Very similar thing. Asian range, price during London comes down, sets the low, and then during the US session, what do we get? The high of the day, an M, reversal, down. All right, so these are the type of trades essentially that you want to look. These are the only trades really you should want to trade. All right, because the other ones get a little bit more complicated, and they're just harder to trade. So you want to make it as simple as possible and not overcomplicate everything, right? But let's take a look at some examples of. So here you have CAD JPY, right? So Asian session here, and then we have the push down, the pullback, and then the continuation. The initial move here, we have essentially the W here, and then an M that continues it back down. All right, so if you're trading this, or if you see this during the US session, let's say it's 9 o'clock or so, you've already established the low of the day. The low of the day has already been established here, right? Now, as far as high of the day, where is the high of the day at right now? The high of the day is way up here. The high of the day is way up here, right? So, we know that, I mean, are we going to continue all the way back up? You know, so right now we're not in this is not a good spot to be in. If we go back, I mean, this is not a good spot to be in because, you know, we can't, the low of the day essentially already happened and the high of the day. So basically the move was already done. So this makes it very difficult to trade. All right, we want to take trades that are simple to trade. Here's another one. Not so easy. So Asian range here. This is our Asian range. Here's London. Works all the way down. Here comes the start of the US session right here. Okay. And look, we're already at essentially the low of the day. Right here, and price is all the way in here in the middle between the high and the low. So if price is in the middle between the high and the low, I mean, you don't want to take these kind of trades. You don't want to worry about these kind of setups. We want the setups that are going to be clear for you, right? We want the setups when it's 9 something, like on this one here. Say it's like, you know, 9, 10 o'clock. We're looking at trading off the high of the day or the low of the day. You want to get trades that are like this, guys. That when you go to the US session, let's say 9 o'clock or so, the low of the day has already been established. Okay? And essentially we're looking, and price has moved away from that low. All right, so essentially we're looking to do what? We're looking for the reversal, okay? But we're not getting the reversal until what? Until it meets certain criteria. What are the criteria for that? Well, you know, if you're going to get into a trade as a reversal, you need to wait for the cross of the 5 and 13. It'll keep you out of bad trades like this, right here. This would have been a bad trade for possibly everybody who took it. This would have been a bad setup for everybody who took it. Because they're looking at it, and they're looking at this is going to be the high of the day, and this is going to be the reversal. Right? Look, here's an M. Right? There's the M. And then we're going to get the reversal. You didn't get the reversal. You got moved higher. Way higher. So be patient with it. So like this one over here. This was what, 9 o'clock here. This is obviously the low of the day. This is the current high of the day, right? So if you're gonna think about trading this, you have to wait for this high to get taken out. Okay, it gets taken out, and then the crossover doesn't happen. You see the second leg here doesn't happen until the second leg. And then you can get into that trade. But see, this was already, by the time this crossed over, we're talking like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And this isn't really the ideal trading session time for you. This is the setup that we're looking for, but you just have to be patient. I'm going to see if I can do some more analysis on US session so I can show you more examples. This is literally just pulling it off of today. So I'll do more videos. I'll make sure to include more analysis on US session trades. But you know, the main things to remember about the US session, guys, is that we're trying to trade off of the reversal, and we want to make sure that we establish what happened during London. Was there a high created or the lowest created? That way we know what we're essentially trying to trade off of. So I hope that this video has helped you in somewhat for the New York session. If you have any questions, guys, let me know in the comments below. And enjoy the week of trading, guys. Guys, one last thing. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate the fact that you take the time to watch my videos. I really hope that I've added value in each of the videos that I make for you guys, and I hope that you're learning something. As always, guys, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please like and share the videos if you found value in them. And also, don't forget to visit our website at www.fxntradinggroup.com. Once again, guys, thank you so much. I'm truly blessed.